And I was actually sitting in a church meeting several years after these experiences. And I had this really powerful spiritual experience where I felt the Holy Ghost come to me and just say, Philip, all you have to do is love them. Philip, all you have to do is love them. That's all that God requires of you. And it was just this total light bulb moment. And it just really helped me realize that God fixes our problems. And he not only fixes our problems, but he enables us to solve our own problems too. And my responsibility as a leader wasn't to solve their problems. It was to point them to Jesus Christ. It was to point them to God and to say, hey, God knows what you're going through. And if you have faith in him, he will eventually solve this problem for you in his own good time. In the meantime, he's letting you learn something. He's coaching you, he's training you and helping you to become more like him and helping you to become a better person so that you can be happy, so that you can find joy in life. And I realized as a leader, my responsibility isn't to just solve their problem like that at the snap of my fingers, or even over a longer period of time to help get them to the point where that problem is no longer a problem. That really wasn't my responsibility. My responsibility was to teach them and to love them so that they could feel God's love. And once you feel God's love, that starts solving problems. And it gives you intelligence and wisdom on how to solve your problems. And that guidance can come from God. And it's just a beautiful thing once they understand that they can get that light and direction from God. And they know that they matter to God and that they're loved by God. And it just totally changes things. And they start becoming more self-actuated, more reliant. And spiritually, they become more resilient and they start doing the right things. And so as a leader, I realized that I was actually taking people's joy away from them by trying to solve their problems for them. And really my responsibility was to let them, teach them and love them as they're going through these experiences so that when they come out on the other side triumphant, they can have the joy that God has reserved for them. And it took me a while to learn that. It really did. Intellectually, I knew it, but in my heart, it took me a while to learn that and to understand that. I'm so grateful that I learned that lesson. And every once in a while, it's still a temptation for me to solve people's problems. And sometimes there's things that you can do to help them and serve them, and you should do those things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your goal is to point them upwards towards heaven and to seek God's help, seek God's guidance, because God knows them perfectly, and he knows their situation perfectly.